What's up? What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
I can't complain, man. I can't call it, man. How you doing today?
Man, look, it's Thursday. It's
It's the
Thursday,
hey,
so
you right about that, man. It's 8 o'clock somewhere, man. We it's 8 p.m. somewhere.
it's
Corinthian, man.
8 p.m.
What's
somewhere.
up with this heat, man? Are y'all getting a heat wave out there?
Man, we had it last week, man. It got up to 100 one day. So yeah, it's been, man, and out far west, like Idaho and Washington State and Oregon and stuff like that, that's not used to getting heat like that. Um, One of my coworkers said it was 114 degrees
Oh
out there,
wow,
and some of
wow.
those places are so used to not getting heat. Like some of those places up there don't even have AC up that way. So I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, what's up, Matt? What's up, Matt? Corinthian. It's been so hot. I started basketball workouts this week,
Yeah.
and it's been so hot. The gym been hot, outside been hot. The boys had to come with me, so I I come
Hey,
out of there sweating
Hey,
like profusely.
it remind you of that gym. You remember in elementary school at BC at Jenkins?
Yeah, man.
Jenkins during the summertime, man, they shouldn't have let people play basketball in there. It was so hot up in there. You know that stifling heat that's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's just hot just for no reason.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, is this global warming? What can we attribute this all this heat to, man?
See, I'm not a scientist, but something is up.
Something
Look,
up, something going on. I'm
something's
talking
up.
about
You know,
something going on.
yeah,
Corinthian,
it's getting warmer.
Corinthian, did you read about the condo that collapsed?
Hey, Arthur, I that's tragic. It's really tragic.
My
So
heart goes
prayers
out to
to
all
yeah
those families, man.
yeah prayers to those folks out there. But Arthur, somebody's going to jail.
Corinthian, under the jail, Corinthian, every
You have
civil
to.
engineer, every
Yeah,
person that came, and
yeah,
the public safety people, all the people. I
yeah.
don't care if you checked a manhole near the near the condo. Everybody that had a part in the upkeep of
So
that building needs to
so
be, yeah,
so you know the saying, stuff rolls downhill.
yeah,
So you gotta okay, you gotta think. I saw some reporting where it said engineers or inspectors said it's
yeah,
things that need
yeah,
updates,
yeah,
and that was on the books 2 years ago.
yeah,
So then, all right, so it's one thing to have code enforcement. The people that are
right,
enforcing the codes come by and say this is out of code. All
right,
right, but how does code enforcement then, you know, compel or what's the stick that they have to be able to make someone do it, make the property owner do it? You see what I'm
right,
saying? So to me, I'm seeing a gap there because it's one thing for me to think about it from a teaching perspective. I can walk in and do an observation of the classroom and say, hey, I noticed this, this, and this.
yeah,
Okay. I can tell you that all day, but what's going to make you do? You see what I'm saying? What's going to make
yeah,
you implement the remedy that I've just suggested? So those are two totally different things. So I use that, I use that same logic with that code enforcement. So the people said it was a problem. All right. So then what's the next step? How do you get them to enforce it? How do you get the property owner to do it? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think about. But the only silver lining to this, Arthur, is that every other property owner is now checking their stuff and seeing what's out of date, and we need to fix it ASAP. If they smart, if
yeah.
they not smart, you see what I'm saying. You don't want to be the next headline of this happening. So if I'm a property owner, I'm like, hey, let's get
Yeah, I'm making
inspection.
my list, checking it twice,
Yeah,
Corinthian.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm calling people in and say, hey, come inspect this, come check it out, make sure we don't have this happen.
Goodness, Garrison. Corinthian, listen. I'm telling you, I'm being serious, man. Every surveyor, every appraiser, if the building has ever got I'm talking about everybody that has step foot in the building. I want them. They need to be tried because there's probably some paperwork on somebody. Some said, more than once on this, and the truth about to come to light, Corinthian. I'm telling you, man. So I again. My condolences and my heartfelt, grievance to all the families that have suffered from this architectural injustice. You definitely didn't deserve this. To be sleeping in your bed and the rug be pulled from under you, and a whole building, left side or right side, collapse. That's just crazy. But that's also one of, that's a fear, man. I mean, just imagine going across a bridge and it just collapse on you not because of something, not because of natural disaster, because they didn't keep it up to code. You know what I'm saying? All right, thank you, Mr. Harrison. Hey, good luck with your meeting, man. All right.
Yeah.
So all that just went on with that building, man. My heart goes out to those families.
Yeah. So stuff like when stuff like that happens, when tragedy happens, it creates fear in people, you know, that ain't even around it, right? Um, so one of those things that you just described, like Arthur, we from the Tidewater. We used to ride in tunnels all day. We weren't thinking about the tunnel collapsing on itself or being flooded with water. We were just in it. You see what I'm saying? But when something happens, then sometimes I mean, whether you want to call it rational or irrational fear, that comes to light where you start thinking about stuff that every other time, I mean, you ain't thinking about crossing that bridge. We ain't thinking about crossing the James River Bridge. We ain't thinking about it. We used to do it, without even thinking about it.
Yeah. I think it's an icebreaker or something like that where it says, do you trust? Obviously, the trust fall and all that stuff. But there is also when people talk, do you trust the chair that you sit in all the time to be able to hold you up? And that's one of those things. We build that trust. I mean, time and time after again, we sit in the chair. Now, obviously, it could break, but we have done it repetitively and we trust it to be able to hold our weight. And a building, you don't even think of things in that regard like that. But now we got to really start thinking, are the buildings that we're in, are they up to code? And thanks, Matt, for that. He said generally the codes and compliance department for the locality should be able to find that business.
Yeah,
Find
yeah.
them, find them,
Okay,
find them.
okay. And so one of those things, Arthur, most localities have a building planning commission or authority that regulates and oversees that. So, for example, out in Sedgwick County, there's an agency that does that. It's an
Gotcha.
agency that collaborates with the city of Wichita and the county. But one of the things they were talking about were elevator codes. So they have to update elevator codes and a certain regulation they have. So all new buildings have to have elevators made with certain specifications. They got to have some kind of communication device in elevators. That way, if people get trapped, they can call and alert people. But then some of the issues that came into play were, all right, those elevators got video cameras and listening devices. Does that infringe on people's right to privacy? Or when does the recording start? When does it stop? Because what I'm saying is we have a right to privacy. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't just go just because I walked into the
Right,
elevator. You
right.
see what I'm saying? So it's all those like it's so many different sides to a story, right? And then another thing is it's expensive to imagine if you got an old elevator in an old building. Now, after a certain amount of time, you got to get that elevator replaced because it's out of code. I mean, you need some new updates to
Great.
it.
It's a couple of buildings that I need to. I'm writing down right now that
Yeah,
I wouldn't even step foot in the elevator. I'm taking the
yeah,
steps. Yeah,
Yeah. So now their agencies and stuff and places for that, but then you got to think about all the buildings that are there. Now most buildings have to be what they call ADA compliant or Americans with Disabilities Act compliant. That means you have to have accessibility for people in wheelchairs and stuff like that. So it's all those kind of things. Now imagine it's one thing to be a federal or public building. You got to comply with that stuff. If you receive public dollars, you got to have access to those places, and you got to think those agencies are big enough where they can absorb some of
right.
those costs. But if you're a mom and pop store, you
Mm,
might not have a wheelchair ramp. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and then so there has to be some subsidies or some ways that the government can help you bring your stuff up to code. But all that stuff costs money, and then it takes
yep,
time.
yep,
So it's those kind of factors you want to think about. But the last point I'll say to this what we're talking about, the way I carry it now, even though it was tragic, I think God has not given us a spirit of fear. So
right.
I'm not afraid to. I mean, I've been going in the same elevator every day. So I'm not going to
Yeah,
start saying, because if you start thinking like that, you would never leave a house. You
right,
see what I'm
right.
saying? With all the possible stuff that could go wrong in
Yeah.
your car and you see what I'm saying? So I don't even try to operate out of that. You know.
Yeah, well, no, Corinthian, when you said that God has not given us a spirit of fear, I mean it goes hand in hand with the pandemic and everything that has transpired since March 13th of 2020, where March 13th, Friday the 13th of 2020 was one of those days where everything began to be shut down and fear settled on everybody like, wow, this is going on. So obviously we wanted to comply with all the federal guidelines and CDC and everything, and obviously our localities and governor and all that. But then it got to a point where everybody started saying, well, I can't be afraid to go outside. I can't be afraid to live my life, because of this pandemic. I don't need to wear my mask anymore. I can't be afraid. I can't let the government tell me that I need to do that. But just in your explanation of how elevators work, we had to have some guidelines to where what we did, and businesses had to have some guidelines on trying to help keep people safe. So from that standpoint alone, when things like this happen, it makes us look at the bigger picture, but it also says, well, what ways can we help to assure that we keep people safe, but we also keep the confidence of people as well.
Arthur, this is the thing that I've realized. This is why I love history and stuff like that. Arthur, a lot of codes and stuff like that were born out of tragedy because design was not right, or you didn't have a fire escape in the building. You had a fire. Now you see fire escapes after all buildings because beforehand you didn't. So a fire breaks out in the building. How does everyone get out of the building safely? And everybody can't go down the stairs. You see what I'm saying? So now you got stuff like fire escapes. That happened because it was a fire and a lot of people died, unfortunately. Or the reason why you have codes or building standards in buildings, because some people was putting up buildings and they was collapsing
Yeah,
and people were dying.
yeah,
So
yeah,
then now you have to have some kind of set of standards for building. You got to have some certifications to be able to build. You got to have certain electrical codes. Otherwise, your friends
yeah,
say he know how
yeah.
to build a roof, put a roof in, and the roof collapse on everybody. And you see what I'm saying? So
Corinthian.
that's why you have
Oh,
that kind of code enforcement and stuff like that, which is necessary. But
Corinthian.
the
I
the
was
hit,
I
yeah,
was watching I don't know if it was a TikTok, but it was on Instagram, and it was a street, a bullet, like a Jefferson Avenue, but I don't know
yeah,
where it was, and the car, it was no stoplight.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the cars, they were just going. You had to slow down a little so the car don't hit
Yeah.
you, but they were going. They had no
Yeah.
no right away, no nothing. And I was just saying, man, I'm so thankful for Garrett Morgan, who uh, built the stoplight
Garrett
because
Morgan,
Corinthian.
a black
Oh
man,
yeah, man,
a black
we
man that
would
built the
have been
stoplight.
total disarray.
Arthur, Arthur, the stoplight, Arthur. Speed limits are
Yeah,
necessary. Those are regulatory things
yeah,
because without that regulation, you let people do what's best for them. Arthur, you might want to drive what's fast for you is not
yeah,
fast for
yeah,
somebody else.
yeah,
Some people driving the street still with speed limits,
yeah.
they be driving like they Dale Earnhardt and Mario Andretti and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So you have to. That's where to keep safe public safety and stuff like that. You have regulations put in place because without regulation, you will have chaos, man. You don't got nobody.
well, Corinne, let me talk. Well, what's the Republicans' message? Democrat Republicans. The Republicans I hear they want less regulation.
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
that?
Well, and it they want less restriction or less government intervention when it comes to business. They believe in free markets, and what free market mean is, I mean, if you got a good product, sell as much as you can. Um, now, but this is the downside. A truly free market, in my opinion, that means Arthur, if you invented Apple, you invented the iPhone, and I buy one of your iPhones, and then I take it apart and see how it make, and then I make another iPhone, and I call it a G phone.
Yeah,
What's stopping me from doing that in the free market? So you see what I'm saying? So you
yeah,
need some kind of regulations. You need Arthur. If people operated in good faith without no regulation, without no rules and stuff like that, without stealing from each other, trying to take their intellectual property, trying to take their patents, you wouldn't need none of that. But you and I both know, I mean, from a biblical standpoint, you see what I'm saying? We was all born into sin. So, but just more practically, if there's no rules stopping me from doing it, why wouldn't I do it?
yeah,
If
yeah.
I can I just took your design and I said I'm gonna tweak it and make it a different color. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? What is there? What recourse is there to stop it? So
Yeah.
that's why you need some kind of
Yeah,
guidelines.
get your stuff
That's
trademarked, get your stuff
you.
patented,
That's
because
why all
somebody
that
gonna
stuff.
take your
No,
current,
no, no, no,
even
Arthur.
even the phrases we use.
No, Arthur, Arthur, look, that's why those offices exist
Yeah,
because
yeah,
somebody did take those
yeah,
ideas.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
all these things, all these rules and regulations were born out of before they came into
Right.
place. People was taking, I mean, I read somewhere that Coca-Cola was somebody else's idea. Just found someone else who knew how to market it. You see what I'm
Ooh.
saying? So that guy's a multi-billionaire, and the other guy, he made it. You see what
Corinthian,
I'm saying?
just
It's so
imagine
many.
how many ideas were stolen
Arthur,
from our people.
Arthur, 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 man, Arthur. I would say the majority of ideas was
Wow,
still because
wow.
because all right. You heard the saying, necessity is the mother of all invention, right?
Mm, yeah,
You had people that had to work and figure how to do stuff out in the most efficient way for years and generations. So you mean to tell me they weren't the people designing it that was out in the field every day? Or you're
wow.
telling me somebody that won't out in the field, that was their idea and they didn't have to pick nothing? No. Arthur, all the majority of those, uh, man, that's
Wow,
profound.
Matt,
That
America was somebody else's idea.
it was. It was. It
Wow.
America stole Arthur John Locke said life, liberty, and property, and America just changed it to life, remixed it a little bit.
Remix,
Life,
man.
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But
Wow.
then that's one of our founding sayings. But how you gonna be happy you a slave? It won't talk about pursuit of happiness for everybody.
What I think God Save the King, God Save the King is one of our songs. I mean, we just took it and made
Man,
change the words. I mean, that's the monarchy song. Oh man.
man, taking people's stuff is the American way, bro. It's just that's the sad reality of it. That's why you need regulation.
That's why you need regulation.
That's why you or another example. If there's no regulation, if there's no environmental protections and stuff like that, say I'm doing mass industrial waste, and if there's no regulation, I'm gonna let all the waste byproduct go into the field that's next to me, go into the water, not even caring about it, right?
Ooh, I'm hearing
Because
Flint. I'm hearing Flint. I'm
all
hearing Keystone Pipeline. I'm hearing
All look, man, Arthur,
I'm hearing
you,
the waste
Arthur,
plant. I'm hearing so much in this right
if
now.
if stuff like the EPA doesn't exist, the Environmental Protection Agency, I mean, you gonna have plants, their byproduct, their waste and stuff like that is gonna end up in that water. You know what I'm saying? So you need regulation for proper disposal, because if you don't set some regulations or some guidelines on how to properly dispose of this,
Right.
what you think is a good way to dispose of it is totally different from mine.
Wow.
And if I'm a business, I'm gonna try to find the cheapest way possible. And usually the cheapest way is, man, take that and throw it in
You
this
take you
field.
take
You see what I'm saying?
just to get it away from the house. Get it. Don't
Arthur,
throw it.
don't
Throw it
throw
in
it in your
somebody else's yard.
backyard. Drive a little ways and let it out. Right. And so you think about that. Arthur, think about if you a landlord and people moving and they got waste. If you don't regulate it and tell them you gotta take all your stuff, you can't just leave it. You have people leaving their big stuff that they just don't want to carry. It's gonna stay right up in that house. You
Wow.
see what I'm saying? So,
Wow.
all that stuff has to be properly disposed of. So you have to, you got to find people if they don't do it, or
Yeah.
that's the only way people not gonna not do it, and then they gonna still do it anyway.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Corinthian. I was in a barbershop the other day, and my barber, he's from North Carolina. He shout out to him, Pete. He started his own a mobile barber shop. He,
that's
got a
awesome.
van. He, you can get your cut in the van, all that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's pretty sweet,
Brilliant,
man.
brilliant.
And he was just, we talk about his nephew who still lives in North Carolina. He's looking at basketball and everything. And he said, man, we gotta, this generation is out of control. And he said, man, there's somebody getting shot every day. I mean, over the dumbest things. And he said, we got to do better with talking to our, black males. Just specifically, we just talking about black males. We got to talk to white males too, all that. But just specifically in our community, because they don't care, man. And the disregard for life is just becoming more evident. I'm seeing a lot of things. Obviously, social media is heightening a lot of things, but we're fighting over, the dumbest things, stuff that's not even ours, and it's no disregard. It's no one's scared to die. And they would do anything to be accepted by their peers. So we got to do better. And Corinthian, if you can let the folks know about things that you're involved in, because you're in a mentorship program. If you can just let the folks know, hey, if you're just tuning in to Kicking It with the Kellys, we're just chatting for a little bit. We only got a little bit of time tonight. I have something to do at at midnight, man. That's crazy, man. If you didn't know, I was in the talent agency and all that, and I got a commercial or photo shoot tonight. I don't even know where we're shooting. I hope it's not outside. But yeah, I got that tonight, so I got to get prepared for that. But we just talking, and we're gonna talk about gender roles too. I wanna get your the thoughts on gender roles here. But Corinthian, let the folks know the mentorship program that you're in and everything.
So one of the mentoring groups that I'm in is a great organization called Real Men, Real Heroes, Inc. It is located in Wichita, Kansas. It's some great brothers that's in it. We work with third graders through high school. So I work with a group of third and fourth graders. Um, During COVID, we were meeting virtually during Zoom. But some of the awesome things that we got to do, we took our boys fishing. Um, they had a workshop where they learned how to jumpstart a car. Different kind of seminars that we had throughout the course. So those tangible life skills that you need to know as a young man, those are things that we try to do. I mean, the group of folks of heroes that are assembled. I mean, we have a former fire chief, engineer, federal regulator, police chief, another engineer. I mean, the list goes on with the males that are in there, military servicemen that are in it. So, what I love being involved with that organization because um, if anybody tries to tell me that black men don't show up, I'm gonna say you wrong you around the wrong black men because I've seen
Wow.
black men show up in mass, ready to work there, um, giving up their time, pouring into these young men. Now, to the point that you made earlier, um, okay, it's a couple ways I want to approach this. All right,
Okay.
with our young men, I think there is a lack of perspective,
Mm,
and it's natural that it's a lack of perspective because if you've only seen 11 years of life, you think what's going on with you today or in school is the most important thing to you here and now. So there's a lack of perspective when seeing that it's life after 11, it's life after 12, it's more life than, it's more to life than having real cool shoes.
mm,
Um, Cool shoes don't necessarily translate in you getting a nice high paying job. Um, if you have never traveled outside of your block, you're missing a huge world. You do
right.
not have to you have to um you have to be exposed to enough to know that it's okay not to fit in if your group is not progressing. Like you don't want to fit into a group that's not going anywhere. You want to fit into a group that's going somewhere to say they got a plan, they want to do
Yeah.
stuff, and all that happens with exposure.
Right.
So I don't fault any of the young people because I mean, I use the saying, you can be what you see. So if I see everybody around me that's taking it day by day, not really doing too much, I get why you wouldn't. So it's our job to expose them. It's multiple ways. Like that's why so many of our boys turn to sports, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I think sports are great. They teach a lot of things
It's a great
because
outlet.
it's a great
And
outlet.
certain things it teach you. Obviously working as a team,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
everything. I think it teaches you about how what you're willing to do
yeah.
to win, to get ahead.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah. Discipline, all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Great,
yeah,
great soft skills,
yeah.
what you said. But some people look at sports as if it's the only way out, and sports are not the only way out.
Right.
And I would tell any athlete, if you are excelling on the sports field, that means you can excel in any arena that you are in.
All right. Let me challenge you on
Academically,
that, Quentin.
yeah, go ahead.
Let me challenge you on that because you were about to say academically. What most people don't, or I think believe, obviously you're using your physical strength in a
Yeah,
lot of a lot of athletes and a lot of athletics. You
Yeah,
use your physical strength, how fast you can run, how
yeah,
much you can pick up, how much endurance you have. But I think we need to harp more on the mental
yeah,
aspect and the smarts you have to be able to remember plays, know
yeah,
what this person is doing. And I think if we do a better job of that,
yeah,
that it will correlate to the academic side.
yeah,
We have to bring some correlation between the X's and O's
yeah,
in football, basketball, whether it be baseball, whether it be bowling, whether it be whatever,
yeah,
and translate that to academics, math, the
yeah,
science, where to place this ball, where to do that. And I
yeah,
think if we do that, I mean, I think we can have our athletes, it won't be dumb jocks. It
yeah,
would be you're smart because you know how to take apart something and
yeah,
build it back, put it back together.
yeah. See, um, Arthur, what you're saying is spot on. I watched the video. I think you sent it to me. It was a video of Cam Newton, and he was going over two plays in the playbook.
Oh man.
And when he was saying the video, the play, it sounded like he was doing a computer code.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how much detail was in that, and he
Right.
has to remember that for a whole playbook.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make is that ain't nothing that you can just wake up and say, "Oh, I got it."
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You got to know where everyone else is on the field, and then what the opponent is doing. All
Wow.
that takes skill, strategy, organizing, and stuff like that. So my point is, if you can do that level of detail and excel on the sports field, there is no excuse for you not excelling in the classroom. None. There's absolutely zero excuse for me. Like it, Arthur, if you an all-star point guard, you can be an all-star in your art class. You can be an all-star in your English class. Like what I'm saying is, if you are all-American sports player, you can be an all-American student too. And we have to. There is no excuse for you not to. That's what I want us to get to. Why wouldn't you be able to? You the starter in whatchamacallit, that means you can bring that level of grit, tenacity, stick to itiveness, mental toughness,
Yeah.
fortitude,
Yeah.
learning all the plays.
Yeah.
If you could memorize a whole playbook, then why you can't excel in your history class? It's the same.
Ooh,
What I'm
big word,
saying
man.
is, you remember that play stuff, so you can remember what that speech was. Why
Oh,
wouldn't you be able to? So we have to, especially for our young black males and females, we have to demand that level of excellence,
I love that.
because Arthur, that is our history.
Yeah.
Arthur, we have you just said Garrett A. Morgan. Garrett A. Morgan ain't had no iPhone to
Yeah.
figure out how to
Yeah.
put together a
Yeah.
traffic light.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he used his mind. I mean, we're gifted with a computer. Like, this is a supercomputer that we have to use. And then I'll
Oh,
say,
Corinthian, we got a comment. Darius. Darius said, I agree, but it's a flip side to that. What's up, Darius Blunt? Hey, he's a assistant coach for Maury Commodores football. He's a Hall of Famer at Norfolk State. Darius
oh
Blunt,
man,
wide receiver.
that's that's
He's a
awesome.
Hall of Famer. And he says the flip side, Darius grew up obviously, kind of like we did, correct?
Yeah,
And he used his talent, the group, and he's around a lot of boys, and this is what he tries to tell his boys. Darius, if you had another comment to that, I would love to hear what you would say, what the flip side is to that, bro.
okay.
Love to hear that. My bad, Grant.
What
Go ahead.
what what while Darius is coming up with the flip side, okay. Now we talking about on the field, but it's a game outside. It's a game off the field as well. So we talking about being the athlete, using your God given talents. Everybody's not going D1.
Right,
Everybody ain't going to the NFL, the
right.
NBA. All right. But you can love the game. Arthur, what do you think the owners do? So what I'm saying is, why aren't we talking about what the owners do? What do the video producers
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
What do the agents do? All
right.
right. It's people that love those sports, but they can't run a 4-2.
Yeah,
but they have the whole contract. I bet you LeBron James got an agent,
Yeah, agent. Yeah.
and I bet his agent can't run no 4-4. His
Right.
agent can't shoot no three, but he can get up in that book and read a contract. He does have math. He does have reading comprehension. He got
Right.
all those skills. So what I'm saying is, you can love sports. What you think Stephen A. Smith do? Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith ain't shooting no shot no more. Stephen A. Smith every day he getting paid real well to talk about sport, to pontificate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he has mastered his craft. You see what I'm saying? That's why what you think Skip Bayless doing?
Yeah.
Skip
You're
don't
right.
look like he can throw a 40-yard pass. You see what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is that it's multiple pathways to it. You see what I'm saying? You
My bad, Grant. Finish your comment, but Darius just said some student athletes don't get the study time as the average student. While they are practicing, the other students have the extra time for study.
okay? All right, that's a valid point. But then I would counter that point, Darius, with there were students at Virginia Tech that I went to that had a 3.94 GPA. They was all American athletes and in the classroom. So what I'm saying is, it's folks that can do both.
Right.
And then it, but it requires work, it requires discipline. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely I would say that I want to challenge our young men, especially our young black men and black women, to be trying to reach their fullest maximum potential. I want them
Yeah.
to max out in everything. In basketball, I want you to max out in math class. I want you to max out in English. I want you to max out in I want you to max out in every arena. In citizenship, I want you to max out as much as you can. If I see a person doing that, I'm good. I don't have much more to say to them.
Corinthian, I thank you, Darius, for your comments. I think we as the administration and teachers and school personnel, we could do a better job of identifying students who have the potential to that we see that could go on and do really big things based on whether their sport, their instrument, their science, technology, engineering, or math. And I think, there are a lot of programs. We have the STEM programs now. We have the Governor's School for the Arts. We have the VOTech schools. But then when it comes to athletics, if you go to a public high school, it's everybody's kind of lumped in. We don't have like no special thing for athletes. But I think we can do as school personnel do a better job of incorporating the athletics into lessons as well in the classroom. There could be maybe a special class for athletes alone, for all athletes. It doesn't matter, volleyball, football, basketball, whatever. And then they get a class for them that allows them to understand all the aspects of the sports. It doesn't just have to be you're playing, but you could be an agent, you could be sports medicine, you can be an athletic trainer, you could be something. There's something that will grab their attention and keep them while they're in school, because obviously they're going to get it when they're in go to the field or go to the court or go to the tennis court, wherever they are. But something that can grab their attention while they're in school, because obviously we have band classes, we have STEM classes. So there could be some athletic class that athletes could take that could kind of gauge their interest and give them credit while they're doing their daily assignments.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point, Arthur. What I hear from that is relevance. You got to make things relevant. Um, the reason why I don't cut any slack, or want to cut any slack for actually anyone, especially black or brown kids, um, is I've seen I've seen my own nieces and nephews that can get on a video game and be on a video game for 3 hours straight and know every move, know how to
Yeah.
power up, know how.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, when they want to apply getting information or going to
Yeah.
research and figuring out what the code is to make your player have a 99 player profile, they can apply some critical
Yeah.
thinking and stuff like that
Yeah.
for stuff that they want to do. What I want to do is discipline yourself where you need to apply that same kind of energy to stuff that you don't even want to do. You
Ooh.
the grind, like what I'm saying is, if you have the discipline to be a hard worker, you can be a hard worker whether you like it or not.
Oh, I love
The
that.
work has never changed. The discipline, the focus don't change. What Because Arthur, you and I know as adults, we don't get to do everything that we do, we don't like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it gotta get done. And that's
Yeah.
where discipline comes in. That means you can't just quit because you don't like it. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like, so if you discipline yourself in a certain way, you will start to like the results. So that way, I've been telling our nephew, look, when you want to get better, you gonna do it for you, and that means you're gonna be waking up at you're gonna be waking up before the alarm clock.
Right.
You're gonna go get some exercise in. You can be doing push-ups every day without nobody having to tell you to do it. Like, what
Right.
I'm saying is, if somebody got to tell you to do it, that means you don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you start wanting to do it for you, you're gonna begin to love the discipline yourself to love it, to love the grind. And the sooner you can develop that mindset, the better you will be. That will help you propel you through life.
Ooh.
When you begin to embrace the grind, embrace the work, and you embrace it in a way where you start to love it.
Oh, I love
Like,
that.
first you're gonna love the results. If you start doing push-ups enough, it's one thing to do push-ups one day. It's another thing to do them for a whole year straight. Those are two totally different things. You have to discipline your mind to be able to do that, right? So,
Corinthian.
so
Yeah.
first you like the way it look. Oh, my arm look a little bit bigger. But then you start loving it. Then it becomes second nature. Now ain't nobody got to wake you up to do it. Your body is set on go. You do it every day and knock it out the way.
Discipline. Discipline.
Discipline. But
That's the
it
key
starts
word.
it starts early. See, now it's
Yeah.
one thing to be Arthur. Imagine you doing this stuff since you were 7. All right. Now we trying to tell 17-year-olds, hey, I need you to get disciplined now. We almost too late. I got 17 years of bad habits. I've been
Oh,
slacking off for
yeah.
17 years. Now
Yeah.
you telling me do something different? No. I'm telling you at 5.
I love it. Corinthian. Matt said, how difficult would it be to develop a curriculum that integrates the practical application of math, physics, etc., into the athletic environment? Honestly, I don't think it would be difficult at all. And you know something, the more I think about it, with all the electives and with all the mandatory classes that students have to take, obviously they have to take that finance class. There are certain criteria that they have to meet to get their standard or regular diploma, standard or advanced diploma, I mean. I believe that athletes could have an elective that is something that is required for them. If they play a sport at this school, whether it be scholastic or whether it be physical, then they could be required to take that class to fulfill their regular or advanced diploma. Maybe for an advanced diploma, let's say for advanced, because it would be an additional elective. But I think that could work. And in those classes, there are integration of all the aspects of sport, how to keep your body, uh, discipline measures as far as exercise, discipline
Yeah.
measures as far as injury, Also, letting them know that not everybody makes it to college on a D1 scholarship, but they're explaining all the different methods: Division One, Division Two, Division Three, JUCO, NIA. Like it can be explanation of that, and also as far as clearinghouse, all that stuff you learn in this class. And then it goes a step further. If you make it beyond college, what are those processes as far as G League, F League, I League, whatever in basketball. The baseball, all the semi-pro leagues for baseball, all the leagues for football. There it should be explanations of all these things, letting know that everybody does not make it. But there are a lot of different leagues that you could get involved in outside of high school. So I think that could be a class, man. I'm really gonna look into that now.
Yeah. Now, again, this is, and
Theoretical.
this is just my perspective. Sports, especially in our community, get so glom to because that is a vehicle to get out the hood, get out the. You see what I'm saying? I want our mindset to change where working hard is a vehicle to get out the hood. Whether you're working hard on the football field, work hard in the classroom, learning a trade, using your skill or talent, that is the vehicle. So the discipline, like we've been saying, and the work ethic is the vehicle, right? And if we are developing that mindset, and like I said, that mindset is early, that means that our men got to step up. Our fathers that are handling their man business, you got to keep handling your man business. Our absentee fathers, you got to you slacking, and that's just the real of it. And folks that are just males in general, my generation, it's information that I have to depart and deposit into the younger generation. The reason being, I want to be able to give them, even if it's one tip, to make it a little bit easier in your road than I had it. That's my job. And if I don't be sharing that information, I'm not doing my job. Period. Full stop. So
I
that's why
think
I
I think
mentor.
we're getting into the territory we were trying to get in. We got a couple of more minutes.
Yeah.
Darius just brought up before we started talking, guys, and hey, if you just tuned into Kicking It with the Kellys tonight, we didn't cover a lot of different things. But right now, I think we moved into like gender roles here,
Okay.
which that's what we were going to be talking about from the onset of this podcast. But Darius, thank you for your comment. In our culture, in a single parent home of four, who is there in the household to dish out that mental discipline when mom has to work until 10 p.m. at night? I'm just playing devil advocate, guys.
Okay. And that's a great
Oh,
point because that's the reality.
and then Corinthian, I'll just read Matt's while I'm on it. I think adding the backup plan for all athletes, a degree or the disciplines in sports medicine or physical therapy, accounting, and statistical analysis, educating them that there is life after sports. I agree with that
Yeah.
wholeheartedly, Matt. I agree with
Yeah.
that. Oh
Okay.
man,
All right. So now I'll step on some toes to Darius' point. I'm gonna step on some toes, and people not gonna like it, but oh
yeah,
well.
speak on it,
All
man.
right. All right.
I'm gonna turn my fan off for this.
Hey, look. So we need to get to a point where if it take two to make them, it take two to raise them. So this whole phenomenon of single parent, that has to be an issue because it is an issue. And what I'm saying is that you can see the gaps play out. Males have a role. Men were designed by God to play a role. Women were designed to play a role. And when people are not doing their role, their God-given role, you're going to have dysfunction, disorder, lack.
Yeah,
Even if men are playing their role, you can still have lack. Even if women are playing, you see what I'm saying? So You can have dysfunction with two parents there.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine how much harder it's going to be when you remove one of those influences. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, the, in my opinion, the male's role is to instill discipline in the child, and not just by what they say, okay, what they do.
Yeah.
Males watch what you do. Little boys watch what people do.
Oh,
What you
correction.
say is, I mean, that can go in one ear and out the other.
Right.
Little boys are watching what they see you do day in and day out, and they are going to, that's imprinted on their head on how they should possibly conduct themselves. If every day I see you come home and you yelling and stuff like that, I'm going to take that and I'm gonna pair it exactly what I see.
Yeah.
If every day I see you come home, actually, if every day I see you get up, put your clothes on, go to work 8 hours a day, come back home, come play with the kids, come give me a hug, that imprints on me.
Yeah.
So I have an example that I can model after. Without that example, what am I modeling after? Now I start to look at, well, what can I see around me to imprint a model after? And if
Corinthian.
I'm looking around and I'm seeing people that ain't doing nothing, you know, then what is challenging me to do more? What is challenging me to hold my head? What is challenging me to give you a firm handshake if I don't see nobody doing it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the males play a critical role. Okay. Now, I would also say that we have to be extremely selective when it comes to choosing a mate.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I have a certain stand, I have a certain way that I think. I can't be with everybody. It's just that simple.
Ooh.
It, I gotta choose better. If I want better outcomes, I gotta choose better. I would say that
I
for
mean, the scriptures
males.
say, he who finds a wife finds a good thing." Corinthian, I'm going to challenge. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to let you keep going. First, I want to say to all the fathers that listen to us, and thank y'all through all those comments. We have some good fathers that commented. Darius, Matthew, Mike. Thank y'all so much for commenting tonight. I'm gonna tell you this, fathers. I don't roll with you if you have never mentioned your child to me. We not friends. I'm telling you that straight up because I know how much work it is to be a father. And I know how much time and effort you have to have in raising a child. And I didn't think of this until I was actually a father. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a father to understand this, because you can be as a male in general, and knowing what boys need and men need. But I'm telling you, man, the scripture is true. If you don't provide for your own, you worse than an infidel. And I think the scriptures call that an infidel, worse than an unbeliever, somebody that don't even believe in the Lord or whatever. So I want to say this, man. As fathers, we have to do a better job. Yes, it took two to make a child. We understand, and Mike says there's some fractures in the family that can happen, but that doesn't mean it has to be a fracture in co-parenting. It does not mean that it has to be a fracture in co-parenting. Now, we understand all the stories of the girlfriend, the ex, your ex being vindictive and not letting you see your child and all that stuff like that. But the thing is, you have to know what you have done and what you have instilled and the effort that you have made in trying to be a cohesive co-parent. And I'm telling you, if you have that, in your heart and what you have done, then I say more power to you. Yes, there are going to be situations where there are going to things that are going to be divide the family and divide the marriage or whatever y'all had. But as far as the relationship with your child, the only person that can call you a father or mother is your child. Your wife can't call you the father. Your sister, your brother can't call you the father. The only person that calls you father, the only person that calls you father, and you're their father, is your child. And whatever they think of you, that's what you have to live with for the rest of your life. So I want to say to all the single moms or the single fathers, don't be talking bad about their father. Don't be talking about that bad about their dad in front of them, because that gives them a mixed perception of something that they're trying to establish with their own father. You can't do that for them. They have to do that. So that's my thoughts on that. But Corinthian, I know you had some other things you want to say.
No, Arthur, man, that was beautiful. I appreciate, as a dad, as a father, as you are of two beautiful boys. I appreciate all those comments, man. That's so real. The point I'll make to the single parent that might, just my perspective from the outside looking in, as a child grows up, like I said, they're watching everything. They gonna know who was there and who was not. You don't
Ooh,
have to say. You don't have to say nothing.
yeah,
I could. The point I'll try to make is, you can't buy that stuff that you can't buy. You can't just drop some money in and say that's what to do it. Like, what I'm saying is, as kids grow up and start looking around, and if if you think showing up just during Christmas time and getting you a nice PlayStation 5 is it, that's not it. Because, Arthur, that PlayStation is not there. Like, when the kid's sick, the PlayStation can't make you feel better. Like, that time
right,
is a thing. Like, when I look back at stuff, I think about the time I spent with great men in our life. You know, our granddad, our dad, uncles. I don't remember nothing. I actually don't remember any gifts. That's
right,
not what comes to mind. I think about the time, the lessons, the wisdom, them showing me stuff. You see what I'm saying?
right.
So all that kind of stuff, it's gonna come whether you like.
Yeah.
It's like those gifts are like a sugar high. The sugar high
Ooh,
wear off, man. It like that.
wow.
It's nice at 4. At 14, that's something totally different.
Ooh, Corinthian.
At 24, it's when you start reflecting and stuff like that. So, I think it's important. It's a critical role that men play and that women play. And to your point, if you're not taking care of your responsibilities, you're not handling your man business. I can't respect that. I just
Yeah.
can't. I can't.
Yeah, I can't, Corinthian. And
Yeah,
and again, I know stuff happens again, like Mike was saying, the tendency to place their feelings or lack thereof over the needs of the child, whether it's a breakup, whether it's, a huge divorce, whether, you start getting into things that have nothing to do with the child,
yeah,
but your decisions that you make have have all the ramifications of how a child is going to succeed in life and the traumas that they're going to have, and the counseling that they might need as a result of it. And so I want to say to all the people that have children, that you got to take it seriously. And it goes beyond you and mom, and how y'all feel about each other.
mm,
Everything, once you have a child and y'all have made a decision, to bring a child into the world, everything stops. I mean, it
yeah,
can't be any more. I mean, selfishness and children, that don't mix.
yeah.
You
But
can't be sitting up eating
that's
in front of
real.
your child and they be hungry.
And they hungry and with their hand
Yeah.
out. Yeah, man. Hey, Arthur, man. But see, Arthur, man. What a lot of people don't know, and not to get biblical, but it's a reason why. It's a
Yeah.
reason why they said it's better to marry than to
Did the burn.
burn,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's a certain way to do it. You
Right.
should abstain until that, like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Like seems so harsh, like it's keeping you away from having fun, but it's really protection for what will happen when
Wow.
you do stuff out of order.
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying is it's a certain order where that stuff should happen. And when you do stuff out of order, you get jacked up results. And you can see it play out. I mean, it plays out. Now, I'm not saying that somehow down the line it can get corrected,
When they
but
throw the pebble, I think when they talk about on the Avengers, how the time, if you throw a pebble in it, a ripple effect, and it's going to create an alternate reality.
yeah,
Well, at some point, it's going to correct itself. So,
yeah,
yeah, but it's going to be out of whack for a while. You're going to have to work extra hard
you,
to make it work, as
you gotta
opposed to
go.
following the design that was already laid out.
So Arthur, it's
Yeah.
it's it's a straight path from point A to point B. But when you do stuff out of order, now you might have to double back. You done lost time. You gotta
Ooh,
recircle. You gotta go roundabout way to get
right.
where you trying to get. You see what I'm saying? Point A to point B was a straight line, but you just made it 10 times harder by doing stuff out of order, right?
Hey.
Then you gotta undo all the hurt and
Yeah.
trauma and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff from
Yeah.
so you can. You know what I'm saying? It's a clear blueprint on how to
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
or you can do it your way. You see what I'm saying? Which a lot of people do. But this is what I've realized, man, my 35 years. It takes a maturity that you have to appreciate correction. All right.
Ooh, Corinthian.
Everybody does not like correction. When people say to you, I'm grown, I can do what I want, and don't listen to correction or wisdom and stuff like that, those are people that I try to disassociate from.
Wow.
Because what I'm saying is they comfortable living in chaos or confusion or lack of order. I like order. I really do. I've learned to appreciate it. And I say that I have not done everything perfect. I have messed up a lot and I will continue to mess up.
Right.
But what I will not do anymore is I will not frown upon correction.
Yeah.
If somebody see me doing something wrong and they tell me about it, and I know like it, correction sounds a certain way, in my opinion. I mean, it just sometimes you don't like hearing it, but the truth be the truth, right? So when I
Cool.
hear it now, instead of saying, "Man, listen, man, I'm grown, I can do what I want," I take it under advisement.
I like that. I like that, Corinthian. Hey, oh wow. Mike said, should parents stop dreaming when they have kids?
What about you, Arthur? Did you stop dreaming when you had kids?
No. It made me want to be the best I could be. All my goals, now affects people.
Yeah,
So I can't just think of myself in the dreaming and my aspirations, but I got to do everything with a purpose now. A
yeah,
lot of the times my dream or what I want to do would have only benefited me.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But how does it now, that now that I become a parent, how does it benefit my household?
yeah.
And
Yep.
that selfishness, that selflessness that you
Yeah,
have to have, when you become a parent, can increase your dreams. As far as
yeah,
now, I'm saying, and if yes, I want it for me, but I want it for my children so
yeah,
that they can have something to pass down to their children. It
yeah,
it just becomes it becomes a legacy now.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
legacy
yeah, yeah,
mindset as opposed to having my cake and eating it too. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
In
very good
my
question,
opinion,
Mike.
that was a great question. In my opinion, from outside looking in, parenting produces purpose. Like, not saying that you don't have purpose before, but it gives you like, yo, why, Arthur, why you get up and go out to work every day and stuff like that? You know that you got a household to gird up, to maintain, to produce for. You got people depending on you. So even those days where like everybody do, I don't feel like going into work today. But the reason that you do is because, man, you got folk depending on you.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
folk that's you see what I'm saying? So that purpose is there. Now, I feel like that's a mature parent. There are
Yeah.
also immature parents that
Wow.
don't quite see that and saying, I'm still got to live my life and I still want to, and stuff like that. Well, if you still want to do that, then don't have no kid. It's just that that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
Don't have
that
no kids. You can live,
no.
you can live your life. You can do whatever you can pick up and go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want to do. You can, I mean, if you want to get up one day and say, hey, I want to quit my job,
Arthur,
that it only affects you.
Arthur,
So
I'm the living witness of it. Arthur, if I
right.
want to go, if I want to
Yeah.
move to Alaska tomorrow, I can pick up and move to Alaska.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about no babysitter, but you can do that when you ain't got no kids. When you do got kids, that's a factor that you got.
Yeah.
It's other stuff
Yeah.
you got to factor in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I love it. Corinthian, man, it's been an awesome night, man. I got to get ready for my my call, casting call. Hey, everybody, thank y'all so much for kicking it with us tonight. If you are not following us on Instagram, you can follow us at Kicking It with the Kellys. You can follow us on Facebook. Just type in my name, Arthur ABK Kelly, my initials ABK Kelly, and you can see our live stream. If you're not following us on YouTube, it's Kicking It with the Kellys on YouTube. Follow, like, and share. If you got some friends, some male friends that have children, share this with them. I would love to have comments. We would love to talk about it on our next episode. This episode 30, y'all. Hey, we almost wrapping up season 1, but we got some hitters coming, Corinthian.
yes,
We'll tell y'all
yes,
more
sir.
about that a little bit later. But it is going down and Kicking It with the Kellys, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank
Corinthian.
you all.
Tell them when will you be receiving your award, 40 under 40?
Oh man,
July 29th.
July the 29th, Thursday, July the 29th.
July 20 to 29th, Corinthian, my brother, is going to be receiving 40 under 40 for Kansas. Corinthian just finished his master's 2 days ago, and he had already got 40 for under 40 for the city of Kansas. Corinthian not even from Kansas. you done came out there and wrecked the whole
man,
city and
hey,
state, man.
Nah, it ain't. Look, I ain't even gonna do that. I'd be doing a disservice, man. Look, our big brother, and our sister in love, Daryl Anderson Kelly Jr. and Jackie Kelly. I mean, they the trailblazers. Like the week before I get this award, Daryl is gonna get the City of Wichita Young Leader Award. So it's only one that get it a year. So
Big
it's
time.
plenty of fun. Yeah, man.
You know when they do the
his thing.
document 30 for 30s?
Yeah,
that's
Daryl
what
got it. He got a third.
Daryl
Yes, yeah, he had a recording crew. Like I just got a picture. He had a whole recording crew follow him.
Man,
And,
I'm proud. I'm proud of our family. I'm proud of Daryl and Jackie, man. They're doing big things, and y'all, yes, Daryl's gonna be on the show. He's gonna be on. He just got a lot of things. He big timing it. And so I'm proud of them. But yeah, you gonna get all three of us together one day.
Yeah. Now the hardest sell is gonna be our little sister Veronica. Veronica told me straight up she
don't want to do it. She camera shy, and hey, that's her prerogative. Speaking of prerogative, I think Bobby Brown performing on Versus tonight.
Oh, my prerogative. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So shout out to the verses. Hey, everybody, thank y'all so much for kicking it with us tonight. I got to get ready to go change and I got to go out. But Corinthian, appreciate you, bro. We're going to keep swinging, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you all for tuned in.
Hey, follow,
Until
like, and
next
share.
time.
Till next time, bro. See
Yes,
you.
sir. All right.
Peace.